Hey, what's up, my crypto fans? So, in today's video, it is a bit more doom and gloom, unfortunately, in the form of Stablefund, the pain of the closed websites and the social. And you get the point around this. But what the purpose of this video is today is not to shame the project or the clown behind it, Mike Parados, because I think everyone knows what's happening in the space. It is to try and give you an insight into a two-part video. First part, this one, is to give you the background of what happened. I mean, we know pretty much all what's happened, but I'll give you a run through of the emails, a little bit about why I think a lot of the stuff is stalling tactics, and obviously a second part to the video of deep insights to this guy and what is going on and what I think is going to happen with the money that we're all owed. So if you want to know all this cool stuff and more, stay tuned and let's go crypto. Boom. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Christian and this is Crypto OG, where I give you all the news, reviews and overviews in the crypto, DeFi and NFT space. And if you're feeling super generous, and obviously if you want to see part 2, whack that like button, hit that subscribe bar and tickle that bell notification because it helps me and helps the channel. And lastly, anything you see, hear or choose to ignore on this channel is not financial advice, and also it's not defamation. It is just me being nice and stating the facts as I see them. So let's jump into a bit of the story behind Stablefund. Now, I'm going to be looking away a little bit on this because I've had to write extensive notes from information research that I've done and what it is I want to get across. So to start with, in the start, Mike said on an AMA that Stablefund was a carbon copy of a project that he did before when he built these AI trading bots, and that project failed. But in order to give everyone the money back and to get them some gains, he started out a new fund of a small amount of investors that just grew big into Stablefund. Well, you're going to see in part 2 that this contradicts a bit of the stuff that came out when Stablefund first come out, but more on that in part 2. I just thought I'd mention that here just because it's key for this. So to start with Stablefund going strong, it was all good. Returns were nice, people were getting good kind of feedback from it, the media was all over it, the YouTubers were out in force promoting it. Even myself, to a degree, I put a lot of money into this. Although I was erring with caution, I did say that this project did look pretty genuine. And I will say, just for the record of this, I managed to get all my money out before Stablefund went down, because I pretty much know about these staking projects that when they run too long, the funds that get in them, two things happen. The person behind it gets too greedy, sees all them figures and wants to take the cherry for himself, or the interest dies down and manipulation starts draining the liquidity in the project, and sometimes both that happens. But again, in part 2, I'll tell you what happened, what I think's happened with Stablefund. So anyway, let's fast forward to when Stablefund started to hit the shine. So let's fast forward to Stablefund's sudden stop. Back in October 20th, 22, an urgent AMA came out to say that Mike was doing an AMA and they have to download this Riverside FM app and get on there because there's a important announcement. I mean, that sounds strange in itself why he didn't do it on YouTube with his face. But again, this will all become apparent in video 2 of why this guy's hiding. And obviously, this was the start of the downfall. In the 25 days later, on the 25th of the 10th, another email comes out and boom, shite is hit the fan. Michael blames investors for pulling out close to $700,000. And this was in the email, and I've still got the emails. And remember that figure, $700,000, because again, in part 2, that will become apparent from the contract. So he has to stop everything on Stablefund and pull all the money out himself to stop other investors pulling out and making money on it. Now that I can understand to a degree. If he's made some mistakes or his AI bots are not living up to his hype, you need to stop, pivot, and then obviously come up with a solution. But this is where things get a little bit interesting and tricky. A day later, on the 26th, an email comes out saying rug pulls and how they work, and are giving you a scenario 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I mean, a lot of you have probably had that email. I'll put that email, a little clip of that email in video 2 when I start getting into the deep darkness of this shite. And he was saying on the defensive straight away that this is not a rug pull, this is all good, and refunds will come of the original stake, and it'll all come clear on the dashboard. So to me, that was strange. Why are you saying straight away on an urgent AMA, you're going on the defensive, you're talking about rug pulls when no one knows what's going on and no one's even inkling that it's a rug pull? Anyway, this way it gets more interesting. Now that things are kind of hotting up, I'm just reading off this notes here because this is a classic. Now things are hotting up. He's saying it's not a rug pull. Now, two things here. One, that this is a lot to set up. So you think, if this guy's only just realised this is all happening because he's saying in less than 24 hours people pulled out 700,000, so he had to do this emergency. How a day later has he set up something to pivot to have a refunds already in your dashboard and the emergency precaution is already in place within a day? Now, those of you that work in crypto, or you know crypto, or you know blockchain, or you know how these decentralised, I've built that and I know how these things work. And something on that magnitude cannot be done overnight. And we're talking about, again, this will come apparent in video 2. We're talking about a guy who can't even keep a website up. Do you know, he can't even get a website transferred. If they've closed his domain down, he can't even open another website on Namecheap or anywhere like that to give investors information. But yet he can pivot, change dApps and everything like that in less than 24 hours. So this is where I'm starting to think someone's talking a bit of shite here. Now, bang, again, less than a week later, emails from the 31st of the 10th all the way to the 23rd of the 11th are a refund is coming, but it's delayed. He's blaming investors, saying it's taking 3 to 4 weeks because he's had to take money out of contracts and everything like that. So he sent that kind of standard email to try and put everyone's FOMO at ease. So then from the 23rd of the 11th, things go a little bit silent. We're getting updates in these socials, telegrams, but the fear's starting to hit the market. So people are starting to backlash him, but he's saying everything needs to go into V2 project. So now from the 4th of the 12th to the 18th of the 12th, this is when we start getting the emails again saying the V2 promotion starts kicking underway. Now, there's no mention of what's happened to the people with the refunds. Refunds start dripping out. He's saying some refunds have already gone out, and I do believe people have already got some refunds there, but not everyone. Like I say, there's a 3 to 4 week delay. So now we're into V2 territory on the 4th of the 12th to the 18th of the 12th, and we're saying we've got 10 grand giveaway. We're doing Times Squares. We've got winner AMAs. We've got everything going on. The Christmas is not cancelled, and we're pumping to the moon. So then less than a week after Christmas, on the 27th of the 12th, it is all gone to shite again. It's closed. The Times Square's gone. The 10 grand giveaway, boom, it's all gone. Everything was just not what it seemed in V2, and bam, an email comes out to say everything is shutting down today. As of you reading this email, it is closed. So everyone's thinking, okay, well, we're in like disbelief. The email that V2 stable funds were closing now, all socials and contact options are closed, and he does not want the heat. So he is thinking, I don't want the heat. I'm not taking anything. You're not being good in the socials. I'm closing it down. Now we're now moving fast forward of all of that crap that's happened, and we know the refund's been delayed. We've been fed crumbs. We're getting this information. Bearing in mind, I've dug into this. I'm only $200 owed. I'm only owed $200 left, and I've made more than that off Stablefund. But it's not the point. It's the point that you lot have been scammed. It's the point that the people watching my video, the people that I go into, and I even said Stablefund was good, and some of you may have not got out as quick as me. And you know, I think it's a duty to say that this what this guy's saying. So I did dig into this a little bit, and sorry if this video is rambling on, but you need to know what is actually going on, because I think people are a little bit not disillusioned, but I think they've not been given enough information to know what is actually going on. My background's an institutional investor, but I've been in crypto many years. I've dabbled in financial crime. I've looked into that to stop it. I've looked into investing. I've done forex trading, fixed income, mergers and acquisitions, all of that waffle. But looking at this guy, for someone that wants to hide their identity, cover everything on PO boxes, not standard addresses, making up information, which will all come apparent in video 2, this is starting to look pretty sinister. So where are we now? Fast forward. So we're nearly in March now. So we're sort of like end of February and March, and it's over 4 months later, and investors are still waiting on refunds. Now, why is that happening? This is a guy that's meant to be able to have pivoted a whole dApp into showing refunds on a dashboard in less than 24 hours to stop the funds getting drained from the wallet. But he's saying down to a website, which you know for a fact you could get someone on Upwork to build you one in less than an hour, and just to get information out there. So this is when it starts getting all shite tactics, and this is when you guys are getting fed crumbs of information and you're still getting no further with answers. So it does need someone now to sort of step in, look at this, and start giving a bit of a harsh reality of what's going on. Now, you leave a comment below, like it, let me know what you think. You might believe what I'm saying, you might not believe what I'm saying. You might be super pro Stablefund, you might be super anti Stablefund. I'm just giving you the facts as I see them, and this is me as an investor. If my money was in there, I'd be doing this research. If I still had my original fund in there, and I'd be wanting answers, just so I know whether I'm having to write this off as a loss or there is some way I'm going to get my money back. Now, as time's getting on, I'm going to do the part 2 video. The FUD and the FOMO of the website shutting down and he can't get another website up just to give you information is absolutely bullshit, because he could have put on the announcement page, he could do a couple of YouTube videos, he can even reach out to me and I'll put the word out there. In fact, I'll build him a website. I'll get a website built for him if he needs to. If he's going to give you investors information back, I'll build the website. I'll get the website built, I'll pay it. But I don't think that's going to happen. So unfortunately, as this video is cracking on, there will be a part 2. I hope you stick around for that, because that's where I'm going to start showing you evidence of things that don't match up. That's where I'm going to give you my honest view at the end of it, whether I think you're getting your money back or not. Part 2 is going to be sort of like, it might be final closure for you from, you can't just take my advice, you've got to do your own research, but I'm going to tell you as if I had my money in there. But I do think some people might have to start looking at this now as a loss. And I think what's going to happen is Mike should come out. He could easily come out and tell you, he could even hire a PR manager. There is a project called Jungle Freaks on NFTs that really shite at the fan when a celebrity said the person behind it done racist comments on cartoons back in the day. And fairness to them, they quickly got a PR manager. They were doing AMAs every week and they kept their kind of community really updated. There was no FUD and FOMO. They still got the hate, but the PR manager was paid to weather the hate. But what they were getting back were recent updates, news on what was going to happen next, and they knew what to do. So anyway, if you want to see video 2, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll get that out probably after the weekend in the next couple of days, because I've got to put a lot of factual information together for that, so you guys know and up to date. But as always, thanks for watching. And as we say on Crypto Ripto, trade smart, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.